Harmon in, is it Michigan?
Yeah.
Awesome. How cold is it there right now?
It's pretty cold.
All right. Well, you got questions for me and Dan, so let's have at it and have some fun.
Yeah. Okay. I kind of have to set it up a little bit. It's about the third eye. I just use the third eye as a concept. I'm not saying I kind of believe the third eye is real, but mostly as a concept.
What do you mean real as a concept? I don't understand that.
Huh?
Explain what you mean. What do you mean by third eye? What are we talking about here?
I just want to say this one thing is that I'm kind of ADHD, so I kind of ramble a little bit.
Well, don't worry. We'll keep you on track.
Yeah, Dan might let you ramble for a while, but I'm really good at shutting that shit down.
Okay. Well, I have some studies I can reference after I say this, but so basically the pineal gland is in the brain, and it's directly in front or behind of where the third eye is supposed to be on the forehead, and I know.
This is why Truth Wanted exists, by the way. I get all the calls that Matt sighs at. But yeah, go ahead, Harmon.
Well, I basically have 2 points, and I have 2 references for studies to show that some people, I'm not saying the studies are 100% accurate. I'm just saying there are some people that have tested on this. And basically, there's some people that think that the brain releases DMT in the pineal gland, and that is where the third eye came from, the concept of the third eye.
Yeah, I've heard about this. You know, from my understanding, it is true that DMT is a naturally occurring molecule in the body, right? And so there's explanations as to why, but like it's not fully understood. And the fact that we have the pineal gland and the fact that its functions are not totally known to us makes me hesitant to make any sort of claim about, you know, it's anything it can do for us. But, you know, when people talk about the pineal gland, they're usually talking about some sort of extrasensory phenomenon, right? And you're talking about the third eye. Like, are you saying that when you're talking about these studies, you know, I understand that, yeah, the DMT part, yeah, that's probably true from what I understand. But do you think that gives us some sort of secret abilities or some sort of access to the spiritual? Because that's what people usually mean when they're talking about this.
Yeah, I want to get to that. I have basically 2 points, and my first point kind of sets up the first one, or the second. Okay. The first one is if ancient cultures, the third eye has been in ancient culture for I don't know how long, but I know it's been a long time. And the first point, if it's been in ancient culture for so long, basically, what does that mean? That's kind of my question to you.
You know, there's a lot of old shit out there. I don't know if that means it has any relevancy to the truth of the world. I mean, God has been around for a long time as a concept too, and we're not big fans of that necessarily. So I don't know what ancient people believing something has to do with the truthiness.
As far as I can tell, the truth of an idea is not in any way impacted by the number of people who believe it, or how sincerely they believe it, or how long they have believed it. That's not what we use to determine truth. And by the way, as a general rule, when you look at ancient ideas, they're more likely to be wrong than the modern ideas because we have learned and grown since then. I mean, some of it they're going to get right. It's not like ancient people were idiots. They still survived. But just because an idea is old doesn't mean anything. Look at Chinese medicine and stuff. That is a load of dangerous bullshit that's just been passed around all that time. It's not like we should stay away from modern, big pharma Western medicine. Well, that's the reason that the world is better. That's the reason why the average lifespan of human beings is increased. But yeah, old ideas may or may not be that good.
Yeah. So that's point one. So what's point two you got?
Well, I just wanted to say about point one is that, my point was that even though ancient cultures didn't technically know about the pineal gland, now we can kind of, we don't have to believe it. We can see parallels between them. So that was my point.
No. So Harmon, can you see the TV? I mean, can you see us right now?
No. No,
Okay.
I'm just listening.
All right. So I want you to do this. So take your right and left fingers and point them directly at your eyes. Okay. And then from there, just keep them at that same level. Isn't everything like, isn't there a huge amount of space behind your eyes and forehead? And depending on what angle you're at, I could be pointing at my pineal gland from my ears, right? I could be pointing at my pineal gland from the back of my head. I could be pointing at it up through my ass. So this notion that the pineal gland is directly behind where the third eye is supposed to be is a load of shit, because if the third eye was supposed to be on top of the head, that would be directly above the pineal gland. And if the third eye was on the back of the head, that would be directly behind the pineal gland. And if the third eye were in my anus, that would be directly below the pineal gland. So what is it we're trying to demonstrate?
Well, I did see one diagram that the pineal gland was connected, well, in some way, sort of connected to the eyes to a degree. I'm not sure how accurate that is, but
well, as it's part of the brain.
Yeah.
if it's on the ass or if it's on the forehead or wherever it is, the fact that they match up. That's
what I'm pointing out is that you can match this up anyway. If somebody had imagined that the third eye was in the back of the head, that would line up. And if it was in my butt, it would line up.
well, they're very close. I mean, if it was in your butt, it would be very far away.
Okay, but why is it surprising that people want to put a third eye directly above the two eyes, and
Yeah.
all three of those are now still in front of the pineal gland? You're seeing a coincidence and trying to make something of it.
I'm not saying the third eye is real. I'm just saying what the brain can produce, the images that we can see during meditation and things like that. Then they parallels between them. I kind of lost myself there, but
I mean, we can see images in our head when we meditate. I don't, people call that a third eye experience because it's like the mind's eye, right? And we know that the mind is in the brain. Actually, not all ancient cultures recognize that, but I don't think that that's super amazing to recognize. But I think we've kind of belabored the point, right?
Yeah.
I really want to get to the next one.
yeah.
That was my fault. I'll stop now because I want Dan to be able to address this point well.
Okay. So my next one was going to be that there's studies on this, and some people, I kind of was arguing with people online about this just so I could, to make me think more about it. But the study that I'll tell you about the studies later or right now if you want, you could look them up. But the brain, some people think the brain releases DMT during meditation, and you've heard people can trip on DMT, but basically my point is that if the brain has the tool to make a way for us to go on a psychedelic trip, what does that mean? Like,
well, because I don't think it does. I think these claims are kind of exaggerated a little bit. Like, yes, DMT is a naturally occurring molecule in the human body, but it's never to the amount when people are actually tripping on DMT. I get it. People have, experiences through meditation, but I don't know if that necessarily means anything. I mean, we also kind of trip out when we dream as well. So what, that's a thing that happens in the body. I mean, like there's also just a lot of things about the body that we don't know that may function for us now currently in ways that didn't previously. A big example of this is the pancreas. That's changed over time. What are you talking about? The part I got mine removed. What do you call it? The
Appendix?
The appendix. That's what it is. I couldn't even remember. Yeah.
Gosh,
yeah,
so here's a great thing, because Dan got his appendix removed, and clearly, even though the appendix is nowhere near his brain or his third eye, it impacted his brain to the point where he can't even remember what it's called.
I couldn't remember the fucking thing. But yeah, I got my shit removed because it was inflamed when I was 12 years old. That had no benefit to me whatsoever. In fact, if I lived in another time period, I probably could have died from that. But our body is weird and it does weird shit. Again, it doesn't really mean anything to me. I don't know if it means that any ancient beings or spiritual beings or God beings were trying to give us natural ways to trip out. I think that's what a lot of people think, but I don't think what we see is necessarily evidence for that.
Plus, if God needed us Well, why would God need to trip out?
So we can enlighten ourselves.
Can't God just talk to us?
I guess. Yeah. I mean, it's also going to be dependent on your specific religious beliefs and stuff.
I got to figure out where this is going, Harmon, because I just looked at a picture, and literally, if you go to like Wikipedia and look at the entry for pineal gland, it's teeny tiny, as I thought, and it's pretty much dead center in the middle of your head, which means I was even more right than I thought, because not only can I just point to my eyes and get to it, like everywhere, as long as I'm on the axis pointing to the center of my head, there it is. So it's not like a third eye.
Well,
You want nobody to be like a third eye? A third eye.
well, it's the fact that people found the third eye, and it's,
No. People did not find a third eye. There is no third eye.
well, people found the concept.
No, people think things, and it's either real or it's not.
Yeah, the third eye is not the same thing as the pineal gland. Those are two different things.
It's the parallels that they line up. The eyes, it's right next to each other. It's just, I mean, it's a stretch. Yeah.
Yes, it's a stretch.
I don't know.
I'm glad we got there. I gotta get to some other callers, Harmon, but just if you're somewhere where, well, I'm not even going to go down that road.
No. I'll say this.
Okay.
If you have more to say, please contact me using your third eye, and I will relay it here on the show.
Not only that, but you can call into Truth Wanted to talk to Dan.
That's right.
More about a third eye. And I'm pretty confident that at some point, Dan's going to get an expert on the third eye or the pineal gland.
Yeah, I haven't done that yet, but I really should.
Yeah. But on that note, Harmon, I got to go because we're almost out of time.